It is fascinating, isn't it? Now, even though it may be a counterintuitive way of phrasing it, but it nonetheless is accurate, I would say. She's not a principled rebel. Maxine could be that, if anything, but Chloe isn't. Chloe is more of an anarchist. And I think we have gotten a fairly good insight into how her mind operates and what her value system is. And I think it would be fair to say that she is impressed with people who are in control of the situation. She is impressed with the displays of force and violence. Not a particularly good sign, I would say. But that is understandable. That's understandable for multiple reasons, of course. She's in a really tough situation. If I were to speculate further and just rattle off the top of my head the stuff that, just came to it right now, so I don't have it particularly well structured, I would say that the reason for that is that she doesn't feel like she's got much control of her life, does she? She's in a situation where she's basically completely powerless. She was powerless to stop her father's death. Then Rachel Amber has disappeared. Well, her father died. Her best friend moved away and refused to contact her for 5 years. And then Rachel Amber, her new friend, has disappeared without a trace. And now she's stuck in this spot. Basically nothing to do. Nothing in particular. She's jumping at the first opportunity to do something awesome, to grab back, wrest control of her life from the clutches of fate, but there's not much she can do. She can use her friend by proxy, and that seems to be what she's trying to do, but she's trying to wield every tiny bit of power she can get her hands on. That is actually on display here, isn't it? And I think that is a fair assessment of the situation. Every single bit of power. Power over her own body, she has dyed her hair. Power over her own body in terms of health, with all the substance abuse that she has inflicted upon herself. Then there's the raw power in terms of a gun. Right, people would make Freudian comments when it comes to men, but when it comes to women, presumably the fury eludes them, although there is some. Anyway. And then there's, of course, obviously Maxine, who's got her power. That Chloe is trying to wield vicariously to her own ends. For now, just to have fun. But once again, I am not particularly impressed, and I am not particularly partial to this nonsense. I understand. I get it. Once again, here's a neat little analysis of why Chloe is acting out, why she's doing what she's doing. Because what else could she possibly do? She wants to be able to do something. Something that makes her feel like she's in control of her own life, and her options in this dump are extremely limited. Because although she's an adult technically, her control over her own fate is extremely limited. If anything, she's constricted by basically everything and everyone around her. So I get that. But this is not the way. It's not a particularly principled rebellion, is it? It is an understandable reaction, though. What she effectively... She is met with force. She is met with, say, violence. And her instinct is to desperately try to claw back influence to make the world obey her instead. I think, at this point I may be horribly wrong. Does she desire freedom? And does she just desire freedom and the ability to make choices of her own? Or does she genuinely desire control over some part of the world and other people within it? That's an important distinction. If she just desires freedom, that is a perfectly reasonable and sensible thing to desire. Now, if she wants to do to the world what the world is doing to her, if she wants to control the world, rule the world, at least in one small part, if she would be perfectly comfortable bullying other people if she only had the power, and the only reason she doesn't is because other people are bullying her out there because they have the power, then she's kind of no better than them, is she? Which is what I like to claim distinguishes dark fantasy from heroic fantasy. In dark fantasy, powerless people can also be scum. They're just powerless, so they can't express it particularly well. Or they can express it in petty ways. But yes, we have done a couple of things, and now would be the time to review our notes. Once again, I think the janitor might be the guy who has killed Rachel Amber, and clues would lead in that direction. How else would he obtain those photos? We've got our first bit of evidence as far as that's concerned. Now, you may, of course, suspect Nathan Prescott. He's a violent loony, but for whatever reason, I don't think so. Although, if he is guilty, then that's a completely bizarre story that comes out of nowhere, and basically no facts have come to light that would suggest that to us, which doesn't mean it's false. We haven't ruled that out, but we would have plenty of completely loose ends, and this bit of speculation unrelated to anything. I don't think it's Victoria. Kate, basically, almost inevitably, is not the culprit. Maxine hasn't done it, we know that much. David over here may be a mean fella, but he doesn't look the type who would do horrible things to young girls other than, you know, yelling at them and trying to establish some sort of order. Which is a nice safe little character archetype, I must say. You have a known quantity over here. He's not a nice guy, we know that, but we know how he isn't nice. So he's a predictably mean guy. And I don't think he goes beyond the scope of that. No, he does certain things, you may not like them, he may or may not act in good faith. But, in the end, I don't think he's a sicko. and that's kind of the beauty of it in a way, in a sick way, that when it comes to these incredibly sick, horrible, cruel, violent acts, the sort of person who's gonna do that is presumably the sort of person who otherwise looks all sweet and neat and cuddly and innocent. Yeah, these things go together like peas and carrots. Or any other things that go together well, I guess. And the thing is, the principal, obviously, Warren is... Not, I don't... If Chloe is the one behind Rachel Amber's disappearance, I will be so utterly taken aback. If Rachel Amber is the one behind Rachel Amber's disappearance, then that's going to be a fairly mundane explanation. But hey, maybe. Don't think it's Joyce, and I don't think it's Frank, even though he's a violent guy living in this camper van. At least I didn't write on that last time. I'll never forget Frank, really. If only because he's the first and last person I will ever aim a gun at. How did Chloe end up in this sketchy drug dealer's orbit? Oh, he's a drug dealer. How did Chloe end up in this sketchy drug dealer's orbit? Well, Maxine, let's contemplate this subject matter for a moment. Maybe because, you know, she's a drug user and that's probably her dealer? I'm so dirty. And she owes him money. For what? No points for guessing. We've been through this, Maxine. Your friend, your best friend, is one questionable cookie. And not even much of a cookie. Because cookies are desirable and delicious, and she's just selfish, immature, and all around. If she wasn't your best friend, Maxine, if she wasn't your best friend, my goodness, would we avoid her like hellfire, wouldn't we? She's a loose cannon rebel loser out there, drug user, drunkard, smoker, gun-toting, anarchist maniac, who's out there serving no greater principle than herself, and only does things for her own amusement. She's thoroughly dysfunctional. And I would love to be able to help her, but all too often you can't help people unless they want to be helped. And Chloe doesn't really want to be helped as far as I can tell. Chloe wants to be in control. And I'm not sure Maxine is assertive enough to explain to her that she's not going to be in control. And that instead she should chill out a bit, take some responsibility and turn her life around before it's too late. Because it isn't too late yet, but she's got a decent bit of work to do. And I have my doubts about her actually being able to do that. It's sad to consider, really. It's sad to contemplate. Has her life been so thoroughly derailed that there's no saving her at this point? I sincerely hope that's not the case, but who knows? Mostly I don't want her hurting my Maxine. I want to keep Max safe. I want to keep her on the straight and narrow. I want to keep her, fine, out of harm's way. I want her to use her powers in a reasonably safe environment. I really don't want her necessarily put in situations where she gets hurt overusing her abilities, or where she's facing a maniac with a switchblade. What are we supposed to do? Report this to the police? That what? Our best friend's drug dealer threatened us because she owes him money? Oh yeah, that's going to go over swimmingly. It's not like Chloe isn't known to local law enforcement, but she doesn't have much respect for the law. And in the end, as much as you may look at the situation and figure that the law out there is unfair and the cops are bent and it's all under the Prescott's control, etc., the law exists there for a reason. It's how societies try to maintain a semblance of order. And in an actual anarchy, I do not think Chloe would thrive particularly. Because in the end, she may be a nuisance as far as society is concerned. But she's not some sort of an enormous threat, and no one really thrives, particularly in anarchy, as is evident, Leviathan, Hobbes, yada yada yada. Alright, let's continue with the text. The weird thing is that when I first saw him threatening Chloe in the junkyard, I was more shocked how uncreepy he looked. I expected some try-hard gangster, but he looked more like a dumpster diving troll, which I guess he kinda is since we were on his turf testing out my rewind skills for Chloe's amusement. How many times do I have to repeat that this is a bad idea? I've been through this, there's basically nothing I can do because that's what we do. Though he didn't look like a serial killer, his vibe, aura, energy, whatever, was bad. You don't say. What tipped you off, Maxine? Maybe the fact that you know he's a drug dealer could have been the first hint. I could literally feel the hair on my arms prickling. He wanted the money Chloe owed him, so it didn't make sense he would hurt her. It indeed doesn't make that much sense. It is an old and very well-known principle that you really, really want the people who owe you money to thrive. Now, if you owe other people money, that's another issue entirely. You want the people you owe money to drop dead so the problem disappears. That is the relationship between the lender and the spender, the lender and the borrower. So yes, it is absolutely in Frank's interest for Chloe to thrive, get the money, and then pay him back. But what do we know? I really don't expect Chloe to make any money unless we use my magical power for the petty goal of stealing which I wouldn't particularly appreciate. For all I know, Frank is gonna take it out on Chloe in some horrible way or another, and I don't want that to happen. But what am I supposed to do? I already have enough problems as it is with the upcoming storm, with the horrible tornado that seems to head for this town and seems to want to destroy it. It's not that it wants it, whatever. It's gonna do it. It's a force of nature. Chloe just keeps complicating things. Not necessarily with what she's doing right now, although that is also the case considering how she made Maxine essentially pass out because of her stupid decisions. But, yes, her past decisions are also coming back to bite her. She's not handling that particularly well because, obviously, she's Chloe. She has no responsibility. Okay. So yes, I actually threatened him with David's gun. Yeah, and I couldn't influence that. You threatened him with the gun automatically. Ridiculous. Fortunately, none of us ended up like Reservoir Dogs, and I saw that maybe Frank isn't as scary as I thought. Yeah, he's a guy, although you were prepared to shoot him. But I don't want Chloe near him ever again. Good luck with that! Since he was wearing one of Rachel Amber's bracelets for WTF reasons, I doubt Chloe will be partying with him anymore. But he's at the top of our suspect list now. What, you think he killed Rachel Amber, took the bracelet off of her, and then decided to wear it as a sick trophy? No. I'm not going to say that it's because it's too obvious, but if anything, Frank is basically off the suspect list. And now I get it. He's a crazed drug dealer, but he doesn't fit anywhere as far as that's concerned, much like Nathan Prescott. He doesn't fit the profile, he doesn't fit the story, he doesn't make sense in the context of everything that we know has happened to Rachel Amber. We would have to make up our own little silly narrative connected to Frank, and as far as I understand it, with everything that I do know already about Rachel Amber, she would never hang out with this guy. So unless some horrible series of freak accidents has occurred that's completely inexplicable and outside our grasp, Frank presumably isn't the culprit over here. Not that I know, not that it's out of the question. Not that I am convinced he isn't, I just have no reason to believe that he is. And that's about that. Now let's read the final journal entry and get out of this place. Just when I thought shit couldn't get crazier, Chloe took me to her secret lair, the city dump, perfect for Halloween. Like where the vehicle and appliance ghosts of Arcadia Bay come to rot and rust. Urban dystopia porn, but instead of taking cool photos, Chloe had me do some silly kinda fun gun tricks. Oh yes, that was immeasurably fun. Can we go now? Erlenmeyer Flask's person window.
Wow, sir. Why did Frank have Rachel's bracelet?
Beats me.
We need to talk about this later, but I better follow Chloe now.
Maxine, I don't think you'd better follow Chloe at any point in time. Chloe just gets you further into trouble. Chloe is basically trouble manifest. She's the physical manifestation of trouble. She herself is drowning and she is pulling you in.
I wonder if Chloe thinks about her father when she looks at all these smashed up cars.
I'm not sure if that's the solution for you to just... If you even could, which you presumably almost certainly cannot. Oh no, not the railroad tracks, no! If she could just ditch her, just cut her out of her existence and focus on other pursuits, maybe she'd be better off. That girl is nothing but trouble. I get it. I want to help her. I want to rehabilitate her, but I have a bad feeling about all of this. Yes, as I've made very explicit numerous times. Fine, is there really anything to be found in this area? anything whatsoever at all. I don't think there is, because I've essentially been everywhere, and I don't think any changes have occurred. Any changes whatsoever.
That kind of hurts.
But it is, of course, not impossible. Wait, I haven't actually added to this? Well, I kinda am glad that I came back here. I completely forgot. How could I have? Fine.
Now we're officially a trio. We just have to find Rachel.
Will this have consequences? It will. I honestly have no idea why, but it will. Look at this. I expected the butterfly.
So Rachel did go to a Vortex Club party. I don't want to intrude, but I was here.
For whatever reason, this really seems like a bad idea. I don't know why, but I did it anyway, and I think I'll stick with it. The gun? No! There'll be material evidence that I was here if I literally write that I was here. And if I am to be questioned further down the line, hey, guns were discharged over here, we found bullet holes, what on earth happened here? I could hypothetically lie and insist that I wasn't here. The benefit of actually adding this bit over here is minuscule. Although, am I prepared to lie to the police? Well, at the very least, I leave myself the avenue and the option if I do not add this silly little bit of writing to the wall. But it is once again one of those decisions I kinda... I'm going to regret this either way. It feels like such a minuscule, tiny, silly little thing that would be nice and innocent, and yet... It shouldn't hurt not to do this.
Just another day of Max's fucked up life. Time to go get Chloe.
Alright, physical manifestation of trouble, you troublemaker, you trouble incarnate. What do you have for me now? Are you going to be run over
Chloe's
by a
waiting
train?
to go for a walk. We both need a timeout from here.
Yes, you do. Leave the junkyard. Do remember that you presumably either have classes, or if it is the weekend, then fair enough, but you also have to meet up with Warren because you have a movie to attend. You do not want to miss out. Now what?
I still can't believe you pulled a gun on Frank. That was epic.
It felt awful. I'm glad there was no bullets in there.
You can just rewind time in your hand and stick that barrel right up Frank's ass. You have the power!
You're gross. Don't fall.
Oh, this is cute, but this...
I'm just glad you were here.
Me too. I think. Chloe, why the hell are you hanging around scary losers like Frank?
Because she's a scary loser
It's
herself.
weird.
Let's take a break and I'll talk.
Don't sit on the What are you?
Feels like a different world, huh? I wish we could stay forever.
What are you doing? You idiots!
Can we build another pirate fort and keep the world out?
We need a new secret hangout. At least Frank wouldn't find us. Are you okay, Max?
Trains go through here, you idiots. Why would you lie down on the railroad tracks? Is your intuition that you're going to have enough time to get up should a train go by? This is dumb. It's unnecessarily taking a risk. And Maxine is once again... I'm freaked out. Yeah, let's drive the point home. I would like more information, but no, let's...
I'm still freaked out about what happened. That was awful, Chloe.
I'm sorry. But Frank isn't as hardcore as he fronts. All he cares about is his cash, stash, and mangy dog.
Chloe, did you
Aw.
see what just happened?
He likes
I
his
almost
dog.
shot him. I know I could rewind, but Chloe, this is not playtime. No more guns.
Max, I know. Crazy shit is the new normal for me. That's why I plan to leave Arcadia Bay without paying Frank off.
That's
Now,
cute.
Tell me exactly what's going on between you and Frank. Does he have a last name?
Frank Bowers. Obviously don't get my pot from you, remember? Anyway, Frank and I kind of hung out.
Chloe?
Hung out? You don't mean you...
No, we didn't have sex.
Thank you.
Gross, man.
Thank
We
you.
never even tried.
Okay.
I just made the mistake of borrowing money so Rachel and I could bail out of here.
That's it?
No. I want to know how Frank got Rachel's bracelet. What do you think?
Be careful. I think he found it. My brain is fried. No, Max, let's at least try. Let's make a token effort.
I think we have to be careful and keep an eye on this guy. Without him eyeballing us, okay?
It's so weird talking to you about this insane crap. We haven't hung out this much since we were tweens, and it's like no time has passed. I wish Rachel was here to meet you.
Well, Rachel and I, well... Do you actually? Was she not a replacement for me? Do you think we'd all get along? Why? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that Rachel and I would have been friends?
You're not that different. She has a great eye for images and for art. Plus, she's a smartass like you. We would all be hella best friends forever.
Maybe you
I
wouldn't
know she
have
must be
strayed.
as cool as you are. I have no doubt we'll meet soon.
She's probably
Railroad
dead.
tracks always make me feel better. I have no idea why.
Because you're about to die. Because of
Kerouac
an
knew.
oncoming train.
It's the romance of travel and movement.
Get off the
The
tracks.
sound of the train whistle at night.
Look at the beat poet here.
Get off the track. Get off the train track.
I'd rather be a good photographer.
Please.
You are. You just have to stop being afraid.
Get off the train track. Chloe!
Perfect.
No! No, 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 no! You dumb...
Hold on, Chloe.
Don't make me repeatedly untie your shoe.
What's that noise? The train. Oh, shit.
I don't want to die here!
Train tracks. You gotta... I know what we have to do.
I can't even move it an inch.
I'm tempted to let you die just because of how dumb you are.
Awesome. It's not locked.
Puzzle
I
time.
better find a tool to cut those wires.
What do you mean cut those wires? Oh no. You're such a dumb little... I've told you, stay off the damn tracks. Kept on... I mean, I knew from the word go that it was a very bad idea to be on the damn railroad tracks. Shut up! I'd rather have a life of oh wells than a life of what ifs. No, you wouldn't. Because if you do...
Crowbar. This is exactly what I need.
Great.
I can definitely use this bad boy.
You sure can. See, here's the thing. If you do take unnecessary risks and you don't have a time rewinding power, you may just very well die. That's the situation. I am serious here. Open.
Shit, I can't budget at all.
Here's the crowbar.
Score.
Yeah. You know what? No, I'll read this later. But yes, permanent consequences. I have to get Chloe off the rail tracks. But yes, this is something that has been a bit of an epiphany to me. So I might as well share this briefly, but in a somewhat structured form. Sure, people out there who die old die filled with regrets. Oh, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. And for some reason, they are not filled with regrets of the things they have done. Why? Why is it? Why do they not regret oh so much things that they did do? Here's why. Because the sorts of people who would take unnecessary risks, the sorts of people who would do the sorts of things that would be horribly, horribly regrettable are the sorts of people who die young or who end up permanently crippled. And then may possibly also die kind of young, because they presumably, I don't know, take further unnecessary risks. So yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why. It's not that there are all these people out there who keep on not taking risks that they should, and that we should all take risks, because otherwise we're going to regret them. If you end up with regrets in your life, that for all we know, you have saved your own life numerous times and just don't realize what danger you were in. And never did. People with regrets are people who didn't jump into shallow water head first. And people who did don't live with the regret of doing that because they just die. Oh, I don't know, have a horrifying spinal injury leaving them permanently disabled.
Man, that axe looks sharp. Too sharp. Wait a minute.
It's not the same axe, Maxine.
Okay, what can I slice with this?
I don't know, I don't care. You have a crowbar and an axe. Basic equipment. What's the next picture was supposed to be an Erland Mireflax, so we don't have to worry about that yet. Any time for sightseeing? How many tools do I need exactly?
Now I can pull a total MacGyver.
Bet you can.
In and out, no problem.
Right. Chloe, you unnecessarily put me in a spot like this again, and I may just leave you there to rot, okay? I can use the axe on you. Are you prepared to lose your lose your leg? Okay, open this up.
Come on, Max! Hurry!
You shut up.
Like I know which wire to cut.
You have time. Open up the fuse box. Use the pliers.
But which wire to cut?
Well, the yellow wire, obviously.
Whoa, Short Circuit City.
Come on, Max!
So that's a bad choice, isn't it?
But which wire to cut?
The red wire.
Now that's the right cable.
Okay.
Yes, I did it.
Could I seriously have cut off her
You
leg?
saved me again. Crazy. Now we're totally bonded for life.
Don't ever do that again.
That was close.
Aren't you glad I took you away to a nice, quiet, desolate spot?
No!
It was cool to spend time in your lair, but I have to get back to school before my next class.
Excellent.
You're the mysterious superhero. I'll be your faithful chauffeur and companion.
Thank you. Get
My
off the
powers
tracks.
Might not last, Chloe.
Get off the
That's
tracks.
okay. We will. Forever.
Will you though? Will you? Because I don't know anymore. Oh great, it's raining, but at least we're out of danger. I knew, it was coming, I knew it would happen.
Chloe. Right on time for my art lesson.
Thanks for coming with me. Sorry to be so boring.
Boring.
Nothing exciting ever happens to us, right?
Listen, your rewind power has to be connected to that snow yesterday. It
Why?
might explain your tornado vision.
Why? Explain what?
Explain what? Snow equals a ginormous twister that takes out Arcadia Bay? You're high.
Wake up, Max. You saved my life twice now. You altered the course of my destiny, yours, and whoever. Do you know about chaos theory?
Yes, and that's not how things work here because they're incredibly predictable. What do you know and how?
What do you know about chaos theory, Miss I Hate Math?
5 years ago, asswipe. Some people change. And your situation is the perfect storm for quantum physics.
Oh, you're a quantum physicist now.
I'm just a geek girl in some small town.
A perfect example of strange attractors.
Oh, come on.
It's anything at Blackwell. We have a tornado, rewind power, and freak snow. Hello, Armageddon. So let's party with your power, Rockstar.
Like he said,
I
Professor
hate you.
Price, a superhero needs a sidekick.
How can it be such a shitty week and yet one of the best of my life?
Because we're back in action again.
I am so sick of her. Nothing good ever comes of hanging out with Chloe Price. Seriously. It's so detrimental to everyone's well-being. Enter the Vortex Club. Yeah, that's cute. I know that I may sound bitter, and that's because I am somewhat bitter here, but...
for Mr. Jefferson's class, so I can do some wandering.
Jeez. Well, I kind of don't feel like wandering. I feel like reading what we have just gone through. You may get the impression that the reason I was so worried about the railroad tracks was because I did see that bit of a spoiler, that little teaser at the end of the previous episode, but... No, the real reason is that I am really risk-averse. And I wouldn't walk on railroad tracks, much less lie down over there, because the first thing that would jump to my mind would be that I am about to die the moment I would step on the railroad tracks to begin with. I'm very confident I had recurring nightmares about railroad tracks, actually. Yeesh. Absolutely horrifying. But anyway, yes, in principle, this is another one of those completely idiotic things where you put yourself in danger for absolutely no benefit whatsoever. Okay, you're walking down railroad tracks. Yeah, you're going to be able to tell when there's a train coming. Obviously, it's going to make a lot of noise, a lot of vibration, so you will be able to get out of the way easily in time if it were to come. You get out of the train's way, they don't come that often, you get back on the tracks and you're on your merry way. It's not particularly often frequented, presumably, because it's a hole in the wall, so you can keep on walking down those tracks for a reasonable while before the next train arrives. But if you get stuck, you just die over there. I love the fact that I had the opportunity to just amputate her leg. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have done that. That would have been somewhat entertaining, and it might have prevented her from seeking further danger and harm. Presumably I would see the butterfly. It would alter the course of history, but hey. Well, I hope Maxine has a driving license, because then, yes, because then Chloe might have a rough time driving her back, bleeding out of a stump, as it were. Well, maybe you could make a makeshift tourniquet and somehow stabilize the situation with her missing a limb or a half. But, I genuinely did get that option. I could have cut all those wires. I'm not sure if that actually works. Yeah, whatever. Not sure why the axe was necessarily there. It was an option. Maybe you instinctively grab the axe and then you don't look through the drawers. That seems fairly intuitive. Or maybe you naturally go through an entirely different sequence. I don't know. I went through that sequence and I'm pretty pleased with it. Though I'm not particularly pleased with Chloe Price, as I have mentioned numerous times, and as I will keep mentioning. One could argue that I've just found a new hate sink. I kept ragging on Max, and now I'm ragging on Chloe. But once again, I hate neither of them. What I hate is the feeling of helplessness when I see them doing dumb things that I know are dumb and risky and dangerous, and there's nothing I can do to prevent them. That is the problem. That is indeed the problem. All right. So let's read all of that, because we have about 2 3/4 of a page to read. Until the guy Chloe owes money. Until the guy Chloe owes money to showed up. Some skeevy guy called Frank. He demanded Chloe pay him back, or else. I was shocked that he wasn't the loan shark I had expected, but I could literally feel his bad vibe. I still can't see how my best friend ended up involved with a loser like Frank. And I almost shot him. He pulled a knife on us, and it felt like another one of my dreams. I don't even remember aiming the gun at him, but my finger just tapped against the trigger. Thank God there were no bullets left. I don't know, Maxine, I don't know. The guy is a threat. And guess what? I presume Chloe would be quite grateful, because, hey, she would no longer have to pay the guy back. And the drifter and the drug dealer that he is, I don't think many people would miss him. So the search might not be as thorough, although it would be quite interesting, because then they might trace it back to the gun. The gun belongs to a known guy, to the gun nut of the town, and eventually it might unravel. It could all point back to Chloe, which would presumably then point to Maxine. I'm not sure if we'd get away with it, but I don't know. I don't know. We didn't have the ammo, and so I guess thankfully we don't get to find out. Maybe, thankfully. Or maybe she could argue self-defense. I could have used my rewind, but the way my head was throbbing, who knows? No, I did use the... Have I made the wrong choice again? Is that it? Because I did use the rewind, I most certainly did. It's just that I think that's the better option. I think attempting to shoot him is the better option, because DC doesn't take a gun. And a drug dealer after money with a gun, that doesn't seem like an improvement. Especially since it's not even Maxine's gun, it's not even Chloe's gun, it's her father's gun, which complicates matters significantly. I can't assume my power will always be available. I hate when the expectations just completely don't match my intentions, but then again, how can they know my intentions? I don't know anything about how this works or how long, so I can't take anything for granted. I just know I'm never holding another gun. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know anything anymore. What do I know? The people in your railroad tracks, After all that Dramarama, volume 33, Chloe and I ended up taking a walk along the tracks deep in the woods. We both needed to hear nothing but the sounds of nature and wildlife. I was shaking inside from our encounter with Frank, and though Chloe fronts tough, I could tell she was shaken too. She told me everything about Frank, which explains why she was trying to blackmail Nathan. It shocks me that the girl I grew up with, watching SpongeBob, ended up in such a scary orbit. Still, I felt safer with her at my side, and I was glad we had a moment of peace. It probably wasn't the best idea to lay down on the tracks and wax about life, etc. Yes, Maxine, it was a particularly bad idea. As you'd know if you could, my goodness, heal me, but alas, you cannot. And you don't have a loud or a silent voice telling you when you're doing something particularly dumb. I wish you did. You just have a very loud voice telling you to do stupid things, and that loud voice belongs to Chloe Price. Chloe's leg got caught in the rail just as the goddamn train showed up. Of course, I was off trying to take a photo for my portfolio, and then I had another quick flash of my tornado vision. I could see it, almost feel it, tearing the sky apart. How could she not take off her shoe? Presumably you put them on somehow. How can you not take them off? What exactly prevented her? It's gotta hold on somehow, but presumably you can get your foot out. Somehow. Right? I don't know. I just don't know. But I think, whatever it was, laces, a zipper, whatever, she could have presumably undone that and got herself free. There was quite a bit of time. Not that much time, but, panically trying to free herself that way, but just tugging wasn't really helping. She sacrificed the shoe. Maybe lady really liked her shoe. I don't know. And I had another quick flash of my tornado vision. I could see it, almost feel it tearing the sky apart. My head felt like it was exploding. Like in that 80s movie, Scanners. I'm sorry, once again it's a reference I don't get. I presumably should see more movies? Maybe that's the best thing you can do. Maybe you need to see a lot of movies before you can actually fully appreciate this game. Sorry, I just haven't. Just as fast as the vision came in, it disappeared. I may be in denial about what this apocalyptic image means. Or doesn't. And then I heard Chloe screaming for help. And I was shitting kittens. Her foot was stuck on the damn rail, and naturally the train was coming round the mountain. I was pretty proud of myself for coming up with a drastic, if not destructive, solution to saving Chloe once again. But just in case this journal ever falls into the wrong hands, it's going to remain our BFF secret, so duh. That is a rather diplomatic way of not dealing with the particular solution to the puzzle in the writing. Thanks, game. Our morning adventure over, Chloe dropped me off back at my campus. She was so sweet and said that this had been the best week of her life despite everything. That made me feel so awesome. Maxine, you're a glutton for punishment. Your friend keeps repeatedly getting you into trouble, and you just can't take the hint. I mean, I get it. She's your best friend. Oh, Max. Max, what am I supposed to do with you? Chloe really sees us like we're taking over the world. I've told you she's evil. But what if I hadn't been able to use my rewind power to get her off of the tracks? Well, then she would have died as one of those people who, oh look, a lead train. As one of those people who do not live to ripe old age to regret their actions. To regret not doing things, to regret all the what-ifs. Should be one of those people dying with, in her final moments, presumably regretting her actions. So yeah, I guess those people, I guess there are people who regret what they have done just before they die rather than regretting what they haven't done. Yeah, the people who regret what they have done just before they die are the exact sort of people who put themselves in these sorts of spots. Chloe might have to lower her expectations, and so will I. Yes, because your powers may fizzle out and go away. So, I don't know, if you have Chloe Price over there, desperate to play Russian roulette to get her money back, maybe we shouldn't do that. Right? Maybe we should avoid that. Maybe we should stay even moderately safe. Just, take the most basic of precautions imaginable. Just saying. Just a little suggestion. Anyway, we are about to take the final 2 pictures. I love the sound of that. I'm about to explore the entirety of the school as much as I can, and now rewind time if I don't have the time to explore every single bit. Alright, one last push.
Going to that Vortex Club?
Alright, let's do this.
I would miss it. I have the sweetest outfit.
That's Justin and who?
Justin always looks stoned.
That's because, as far as I can tell, Justin is stoned most of the time.
If I was normal, I'd be super excited about going to a major shindig.
Vortex Club End of the World Party, Blackwell Swimming Pool, Thursday. The 10th. That's quite interesting, because the end of the world is on the 11th. It's cute. That's curious. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you're not normal, Maxine. That's the one thing I can kinda appreciate about you. Nevertheless...
How many students ever actually memorize all this shit?
You're supposed to memorize
I guess
this?
we all should these days.
Really? Didn't the whole top... Oh, here's the principal, of course.
Carrying a gun to class is cool, though.
Running, yelling, pushing, or graffiti. Okay. That's a very simple code of conduct you've got, though. It's okay, Max. It's okay. It's okay when I do it.
I wouldn't want to be at an end of the world party with Nathan Prescott. Too much truth in advertising.
Thank you. At least you have a sense of humor, though. And I do appreciate that. Who
It's the
doesn't?
invasion of the Vortex Club.
Oh, come on. Don't be so negative. Join the chess team! I don't expect you to be a particularly good chess player, Max. Yeah, I guess you're more of a geek than a nerd, aren't you? Don't strike me as much of an intellectual, though we've been through this mostly in the first episode. Not that I should necessarily just focus on harping on Chloe Price. Hello, Principal, what
I
is
swear,
it this
Principal
time?
Wells always looks distressed.
He's got his reasons.
Sir?
Oh, hello, Max. I hope this isn't about the alleged gun incident.
Have you talked to Nathan?
Alleged? Nathan did have a gun. Have you talked to him yet?
Yes, he's deeply upset about this accusation. I don't blame him.
Oh, really?
Once I have all the facts, we'll talk. For the moment, focus on your schoolwork.
I can't focus when I'm scared.
Please don't say that. There's nothing to be scared of at Blackwell Academy. Our head of security is overseeing a new era of campus safety.
Surveillance? What about Kate?
I saw Mr. Madsen hassle Kate Marsh yesterday.
Wait. Do you see a pattern here, Max?
Probably not the same one you see.
It's very easy for you to instantly accuse people of doing terrible things.
Oh,
Nathan, Mr. Madsen, who's next? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting.
I have a photo. You. But yes, I figured she makes one accusation.
Sir?
Oh,
No. Never mind.
glad to see you weren't about to accuse another student of something or other. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Of course.
Sir?
Oh,
The boy who cried wolf, except the girl, except not the wolf, but you know.
yes?
I can't.
Please don't.
Surveillance.
Mr. Madsen already treats everybody here like they're under surveillance.
Wait. Do you see a pattern here, Max?
Probably not the.
It's very...
You know what? I'm not even gonna bother talking to you. You're not even useless. You're worse than useless.
Maybe you owed money to Frank too.
I sincerely hope not. Oh, come on. My picture of Rachel Amber might be a bit too pure. I don't know. Was she out there doing drugs? With Chloe Price? Or maybe she wasn't. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe Chloe fell in with the wrong crowd further down the line, later, without Rachel Amber to be her moral compass. I don't know.
You can really learn a lot about a school by the weird shit posted on the boards.
Yes, I bet. Have we already read this? Best singer ever in Oregon, looking for best guitarist ever. We've been through this, yes. Bible study, swim like an otter. Like new tablet for sale, contains 5 gigabytes of cat pics. Ha 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 ha. Stole that laptop, you monster.
Look at these trophies. Gotta give it up for those Bigfoots. They do stomp.
Hey there, Zach.
Zachary always looks like he's ready to throw a football.
It's okay, you're fine, you're gonna be fine, Maxie. And if you're not gonna be fine, I'm going to pay attention and I'm gonna stop.
Swimming seriously. But hello, Zach.
Sup, Max? It's weird to not see you without your camera.
I'm always taking pictures with my eyes.
I bet. As long as you don't talk to everybody about all that shit with the sext in Victoria.
I think it's over.
It's over. Just another Blackwell mini drama.
You mean stupid shit. Man, I just don't get Victoria. And what does she want?
Probably for all of us to talk about her. Like now.
Then let's not. You're pretty smart, Max. See you at the game Friday.
See ya. Zach is not even mad at us. Lovely. I need to refresh my... Wasn't Zach the guy? Yeah, the one with Julie. Okay, yeah, I mean, he's back in her good graces, fair enough, but... Yes, another bit of unnecessary drama, fair enough. But apparently he respects Max, and he doesn't like Victoria.
Desperate much? We're already here.
The world is yours today. Blackwell Academy is not just a hybrid college. Our unique, world-renowned faculty wants to show, so you can see a counselor today. That's great. But yes, he understands that. I mean, he was questioning, but yeah. What does Victoria want? Presumably, what Victoria. Presumably what Victoria wants is... Oh, come on! Really? The door swings open and I'm just supposed to ignore that. I can't go through it. It seems like such an opportunity, but then again, if you can just go through a given door, why wouldn't you just go through the door? I don't know what's the... I would have to check the map.
So insane.
Seriously. Hello, climate change.
Okay, they don't have anything interesting to say, presumably. Oh, we don't want to talk to
find
them.
out what happened to you, Rachel.
Don't...
Does anybody believe this shit?
Stop being a loser! This is where shit gets real. Don't miss it. This Thursday, the 10th of October, Vortex Club, the end of the world party. But they're right. They're perfectly right, though, and you kinda know it. As far as they are concerned, as far as we all are concerned, the world is basically ending on Friday. You've seen it happen. The horrifying... Nope. Spooky, but ineffective. Useless. Here's the janitor. I don't trust that guy. Presumably he's the one who chopped up Rachel Amber.
I
Or
should go
whatever.
see what I can learn.
Global warning. Freak snow. Yesterday's unique snowfall was another eco signal that climate change is no myth. Come join other Blackwell students and faculty at a campus gathering to discuss what you can do to prevent a second ice age. Blackwell Science Lounge, Monday, Monday, 7 p.m. We'll either be all dead by then, or we will not, in which case it will presumably be largely irrelevant, at least as far as the giant disaster heading our way. Give blood, give life, blood drive. Great.
If I was normal, I'd be super excited about going to a major shindig.
But you're not, so you're not. We get it, Maxine.
Join us, or die.
I like that. I mean, I don't condone, but...
So you can almost shoot somebody on Monday and party on Friday? Prescott power.
Don't be so cynical about this, Maxine. That helps no one. Yeah, I mean, what am I even complaining about over here? Here's Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Courtney will do anything for Victoria and the Vortex Club.
Of course she will. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. Ciao, Max.
Let's subvert
No
her.
photos, please. I have to come up with a guest list for a Vortex Club soiree.
Really?
Oh, like you care.
Let's go. Look, we're trying to subvert her. We've already tried subverting one of the girls.
I'm not anti-soiree. You seem anti-fashion, though. A Vortex Club party has a strict dress code.
And what would
Do you
that
even
be?
have a dress? Sorry, but nice try.
I could find one. What? What information have we acquired? Oh, no, sorry, that says, hey, conversation rewind.
Hey, Courtney. Ciao, Max. No photos, please. I have to come up with a guest list for a Vortex Club soiree.
Really?
Oh, like you care. I'm sure the Vortex Club has a dress code. As you can see, I would need your advice on what to wear.
Thanks, Max. I didn't think you noticed high fashion. Tell you what, I'll put you down on the guest list, and before the party, I can give you some tips.
Cool. Thanks, Courtney.
I'll send you the party info later. Back to the list.
This will have permanent consequences. See, ingratiating ourselves here.
Can't wait to doll you up. Talk soon.
That was so simple, wasn't it? I mean, she's a simple woman with simple interests, but it's also oh too simple, as I have stated, I believe, numerous times so far, to just demonize these people and figure, oh, they must be so evil and hateful, I must be against them because, oh, that's one of Victoria's minions, so she must be a horrible, mean girl. Okay, fine. Yes, she is. Does that mean that we cannot possibly come to any sort of understanding? Does that mean that we cannot hang out? Does that mean that we cannot possibly on any level understand one another? Of course not. We can. We can figure things out, and you know what that requires? The tiniest bit of humility, some compassion, the ability to rewind time, in order to say just the right thing. But in principle, it seems perfectly possible if you show some humility, some interest, and if you show an understanding of another person's perspective, unless that person is completely horribly, irredeemably evil, which happens some of the time, of course, then you may come to an understanding, as we just did. We've come to an understanding with Taylor, we've come to an understanding with Courtney. They are in the orbit of Victoria, and yet, apparently they're not against Max, are they? So next time Victoria starts slanging off Maxie, for all I know, we might possibly get a positive reaction. Positive for us, I mean. Possibly they might figure, I don't know, I've talked to Max and she doesn't seem that bad. Now, I had the wrong impression of Victoria, of course, would be outraged. How dare you defy me? And of course, then Taylor would ask, hold on. I've talked to Max and she has mentioned this. This has gotta stop. You can't just keep on ignoring our feelings, being so horribly verbally abusive towards us. We're the people. Anyway. Photos. Erlenmeyer flask and a person by a window. So we've come to an understanding with Courtney. Who would have thought? And yet we did. Science class, bathrooms, arts class. Hey.
Trevor surveys his domain. Good thing I left my AK at home.
Yes, we've been through this.
Now, why would Frank Bowers have your bracelet?
It's a good question. Probably found it.
I feel lucky to be here.
Blackwell Academy, our past your future, since yada yada yada. Ancient India burial ground.
If my tornado vision came true, it would be the end of the world.
As I have said numerous times, precisely in relation to this. Let's talk to David Madsen.
Can't wait to doll you up. Talk soon.
If only I knew what David Madsen was really up to.
You could talk to the man, for starters.
Excuse me, Mr. Madsen?
Do you mind if we talk about what happened yesterday with Chloe?
Not a problem. I don't think so. Look, you're not going to solve anything by not having a conversation with him. And if I am correct in my assessment, he's going to be apologetic. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be 100% apologetic and he's going to say it's all his fault. He's not going to apologize to you. But I think he may genuinely regret his actions. We'll see, though.
You hit Chloe.
I'm sure she told you why. Did she mention she probably stole one of my guns?
You're a combat veteran. She's no threat to you.
If I didn't care about her, I wouldn't care at all. When I was her age, I was out raising a lot more hell. She's better than that. All you kids are. So is Kate Marsh.
He's right, though. He's absolutely right. Chloe is a damn menace and she should know better. Now, granted, that's not gonna help. in the slightest, but he's got a very good point here. His methods are completely insane. Yeah, his methods are inadequate, but I guess his intuitions are right. How do you fix Chloe Price, though? How do you exactly do that? Consider how she treats her own mother. It's not like her mother is abusive towards her, nor is she? And yet here we are. What about Kate?
What about Kate?
I shouldn't have said anything. You know about that video going around.
Yes.
Is that why you hassled Kate yesterday? I took a photo of that moment for surveillance sake.
You idiot.
Soldier, you don't have the facts. You think I'm a hypocrite because I want cameras around here for the safety of the students?
That'll take more than surveillance cameras.
It will take more than Ms. Grant and her petition to find missing students.
Isn't that your responsibility as head of security? Unless you know something about Rachel Amber that nobody else does.
I don't want to fight with you anymore. I don't want to fight with anyone anymore.
Oh.
That's all, Max.
Hold on. I just got stumped by a bit, so the conversation somewhat flashed by me, but it just dawned on me. Hold on. Yeah, I took that photograph because I wanted evidence. Brilliant, isn't it? But what am I doing? I'm having a gander at the situation, I'm collecting evidence, I'm snapping a pic. Now, video footage is that, except more times than automated. Under the control of someone who's not a vigilante out there. I get that there are downsides to this, but am I really the one to talk, all things considered? Am I? Because it seems like, to a certain extent, it would appear that that goes the line. I was trying to prevent something bad, and I wanted evidence to back up my claims, so I snapped a photo. This guy wants to mount cameras so that he can either prevent bad things from happening, because people will know that there are cameras on campus, and thus they will presumably be deterred from doing horrible things on one hand, and on the other hand, if things were to happen, at least there will be video footage that would allow us to trace the origins of that back, and justice would be meted out, not necessarily in a retributive fashion, but maybe at the very least preventatively, so further people wouldn't get hurt. Are we really so different? Once again, I don't think we're at odds that thoroughly, and that's quite interesting. We could try to have this conversation again. I don't see any reason not to. Hopefully by now I've made and fleshed out my point on what I think about Chloe Price, but the ethical status of Max is a whole nother can of worms. What should she be forbidden from doing? What should she be obligated to do? Watch the next part of my Life is Strange playthrough to see me wrap up episode 2. Thanks for watching, and you will see me elsewhere.